So how are we going to start?
I'm going to start medium heat again in a good size. I like a wide pan for this because I have a tendency to overload it with all kinds of lovely seafood.
Sounds good to me. All right, so a little olive oil.
Coat the bottom of the pan with some olive oil.
Yeah.
I've got a diced Vidalia onion. I like the sweet onion.
Yes. Yeah.
When it's available, I like that. So we're going to let
Sweat that down?
Sweat it down a little bit. I'm going to put probably a teaspoon of salt in there.
Okay.
It helps get that down. We're going to let that heat up a little bit, melt down a little bit, and then I'll put some garlic in.
Okay.
I don't want to put the garlic in too soon because I don't want it to
burn.
These onions are ready for us to move on.
Okay, what's next?
So I am going to put some garlic in there.
All right.
Just going to keep an eye on my heat. We don't want it too hot. And I've got a good 3 cloves of garlic here.
So this recipe, this hails from your family in the Marque, right?
It originally, yes.
Yeah.
It has morphed. You know, when my grandparents came to New England, you're going to use what you have available here.
Yeah.
These are whole plum tomatoes.
Okay, plum tomatoes.
Yep.
And you're going to leave them whole.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I might chop them up a little bit with the spoon in here.
So in they go. So back to the story. So your grandparents came, they brought their recipes from the Marque with them.
Yes.
And then they adapted them to whatever was available.
The seafood that was available here.
Yeah.
Yes. This is bubbling nice. I am going to add the red pepper flakes now.
Okay.
And this is solely how you like it.
Quanto basta, as they say in Italian, as much as you like. So if you like it really hot, you can add more. So that looked like a quarter of a teaspoon.
Yes, yeah. I like my lips to be warm.
Really tingling.
And some cracked black pepper as well.
Okay.
You can adjust the pepper and the salt afterwards with no problem.
Yeah.
Again, I'm on the philosophy, the seafood comes from a salty ocean.
Yeah, so you gauge it. Yeah.
Right, so I can do that. And I'm always...
That's smelling really,
I'm always
really
smelling.
good.
That's how I like it. And I've smushed the tomatoes a little bit with my spoon as they've come around.
But you leave some in chunks.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And now I'd like to add the monkfish because that will take the longest to cook.
Yes, because that's got a meaty texture.
It's similar to lobster meat as far as texture.
But none of these fishes are going to take forever to cook.
No.
And we want to start with low heat because we don't want to rubberize them.
Correct.
And we don't want them to fall apart.
We want this to have a great feel. And I coat it with the tomato because tomato is a tenderizer anyway. So.
Yes, because of the acid. Yeah.
So and we'll let that cook down probably 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes.
Check it out. Alrighty, I'd say that this monkfish is ready to roll here. It's smelling great.
All right, next thing.
Next thing, we're going to add the haddock, and everything is just kind of roughly chopped.
Yes.
It's just rough. This is a rustic.
You've left it in large pieces.
Yes,
too. That's
I want you to know what you're eating, what you're getting, and what you're doing.
This is going to be absolutely hearty and filling, and you can see why in the Marque they use all of the different fish. And you know, I think this whole tradition came from the fact that when fishermen went out to sea, whatever they couldn't sell, the trimmings, the pieces, they used to make something like this, the brodetto or a fish stew. So these were the leftovers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a leftover vehicle, which is funny that it has become a hit.
Now, would you ever think about putting a fish head in there? I know, that in Italy, we do that a lot.
That would add tremendous flavor.
Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah. And I'm watching my heat.
Yes.
Because I want it. I want the fish to cook. I don't want to overcook it, and I want to make sure that it stays somewhat together.
You don't want it to get too flaky.
Right. The haddock is going to come apart, and that may add to the thickening of it a little bit.
Yes.
Some people like it thicker, leave it that way. Some people like it thinner. Sometimes I'll add some clam juice if I need it to thin it out a little bit.
Good. All right, so how long do you think that's going to, 2 or 3 minutes?
Easily.
Yeah.
And the shrimp that I'm using today, they're pre-cooked, so that's just basically we're reheating them.
Okay, so you're using large shrimp.
Yes, I like them that way. The tails are on. This is a get your hands in the bowl type of thing. Yeah. So this.
So, all right, so they go in.
Yep, we're gonna put those shrimp right in.
Now you can see how thick this is going to be. This is the whole sea in a bowl.
It
just
is.
about.
It is. And it's smelling great. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. And then the last thing that we have to put in there will be the clams, right?
The clams, absolutely.
Okay. Still keeping the heat on medium-low?
No, I
Are we
went
going to raise the heat?
raise the heat a little
Okay.
bit to a medium.
Yeah, because we want those clams to
Right,
open.
right. So kind of make sure everybody's in the juice
Yes.
and a little bit of room between them so that they'll.
Maybe you need a little of the
I was thinking
clam,
I might
clam juice. Yeah.
put in a shot of clam juice so
Yeah.
everybody's covered a little bit
Yeah.
because they
Or
work.
you could put in more white wine
You
if you
could
wanted
put
to.
in more
Yeah.
wine. Could put in a little
Yeah.
bit of both.
And then you're going to add some herbs to this.
Yes,
So you've got some fresh basil here.
some fresh basil and some flat leaf parsley.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put these.
So colorful.
It
It
is.
is really
It is.
beautiful. It's a
It is.
beautiful dish.
And at this point now, I'll put the lid on it
Okay.
and wait for the clams to open.
Yes.
And then I'll put my spoon in there and check to see who's open and who's not.
Right.
And
and
then
then
and then
and then
and then
and then
we will put the spices on the top.
I
These
know, but then what? Then you're going to serve me,
we're going
right?
to taste it.
That's what I
Yes,
thought,
we
yeah.
are. We are.